So in today's episode, we are finally putting a skid plate on the element from Skidplateguy.
Hello! Good morning!
On Facebook, Instagram, and he is a great friend of mine, and he will be a great friend of yours once you buy one of these skid plates. I've been wanting one of these skid plate systems for the element for so very long, and I finally got one through my partnership with Skidplateguy. And I cannot wait to get these on. These are so good, and the entire element community has raved over these for so long. I'm super excited to be able to put these on. That's the oil pan engine skid plate, and that's the gas tank skid plate. And I'll kind of go over the reasons why you need those when I get this element up in the air. So this is going to be installed in my 2003 Honda Element EX. Some people know I used to rallycross this car. And Christopher used to get on me all the time about, you need a skid plate, you need a skid plate, you need a skid plate. Well, now I have it. The problem with the element is in order to make all the room in the interior, a lot of the element's vital components will drop below the floor. So if you open up at the back of the element, you'll see there's tons of room. But also, if you look underneath, you can see all the dangly bits down there. And they're very exposed. So that's one thing I've always been worried about the element, is hitting a rock or hitting something on the road. And this is where Skidplateguy comes in handy. But with the oil pan exposed, that's very dangerous to rock, debris, anything on the road. Let's go ahead and get this thing lifted and get in there, and we'll kind of go over the reasons why you need this skid plate. Alright, so let's start a tour of underneath the element. So if you've never seen the underneath of an element, they are, like I said, all the goodies are tucked well underneath. As you can see right here, the plastic gas tank is very exposed. I have all kinds of scuff marks, scratches. It's been through a lot, and thankfully it's held up. It's definitely an area where it needs to be protected. So you don't want something to knock a hole in your gas tank, that's for sure. And also you have your evap canister back here, which I've notoriously drug off a few of my other cars, if you've seen some of my rallycross videos. So here you can see your oil pan. You can see it's pretty much the lowest point of the front of the car, which is very dangerous for off-road driving, daily driving, any kind of spirited driving at all. If you take a rock hit to here, or your transmission, transfer case, anything here that's very low and exposed, that's going to ruin your day. If the element runs without oil, or any car for that matter, without oil for just a few seconds, engine's toast. You can say goodbye to it. That's a dead car, that's a dead engine. And same with the transmission. If you run out of a transmission fluid, whether it's an ATF or a manual transmission, you need oil in there, and if it gets a good hit into it, you're done. So when you're camping off-road, you'll see any kind of rock, debris coming over here, and you're going over bumps, and one rock goes into your oil pan, that's game over. You can see here, I've got a pretty significant dent here. I'm not really sure where that one came from, but I got very lucky, and that helps show you how important, in fact, a skid plate will be for this car. And the same way with transmission. Any kind of hit to here, that's a deal breaker. That's game over for the car, because these things are very capable off-road, and they're really fun. They're excellent camping vehicles, great to just take off-road and go have fun. But if you're going to be off-road, you need to protect your junk for sure, because any kind of hit here and you're off the highway, you're off the grid 5 miles, that's done. Especially if you don't have cell phone signal or anything like that. That's scary, and that is a bad deal. So here, same way with your gas tank, like I was saying earlier, you take a hit to this and you're off-road and you start leaking gas and you don't have any reserve, or you're just, in somewhere where you don't have access to fuel quick, you're done. That's it. So another very vital component to protect under here, and that's why Skidplateguy provides you with a skid plate for the gas tank and the oil pan, transmission, transfer case, everything there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the oil pan and transmission front plate, get that on, and I'll kind of go through all that. I kind of want to go over some of the design here. We've got some of the vents here for cooling, just kind of let some airflow in here. There's a drain plug here, that way you can open this up and drain the oil from there without having to take the whole plate off. And the gas tank, they all have these rubber bushings to prevent metal to metal contact, so you don't get that real loud vibration while you're driving. Before I go too far into this, a side note, I run one of these on my rallycross car, and I have loved it. I have 2 of those that I've gone through just because I bent up one really bad racing it, and I loved it so much I went and bought another one from them because they're that good and they're that easy to take on and off. I've seen people had their skid plates made And when you have a skid plate made, oftentimes they're very one-off. Someone has to weld some stuff in there for you, but these are completely bolt-on systems. So what that means is they're on and off in minutes. You can see the bolt hole provisions here. These are so easy to get on and off, especially when I'm at the rallycross racing. If I have a problem with the Fiesta, I can just pull it off real quick, check underneath there, bolt it back on. It's 4 17mm nut bolts, just zip right off, comes right off. If your package includes this hardware and cut through instructions, congratulations, you're on your way to a skid plate. If you get a mysterious package like this that's filled with white substance, contact the DEA. Anyway, so what you'll have here is your mounting hardware. You've got the back bracket. You've got your 3 17s here. All your washers. Again, the instructions. And these are the forward plate brackets that actually mount to the element. Remember kids, it's down the road, not across the street. Now if you're into reading materials, you can read this, there's no words in here. You can follow this, but it really doesn't show you what you need to do, so that's where I come in. Literally 3 17mm bolts. You have this bracket here, you see the nuts on top of it, goes over here your factory tow hook, and you see the bolts up through there. Do the same thing on this side. It actually has an extra hitch or tow recovery point for you, so it's not just blocking that tow recovery point, so your bolt goes up through there. And for the back, you have this subframe in the rear, and this little tongue goes up in there, like so, and that's your back mount. That's so easy. That's ridiculous. That's what I love about Skidplateguy and these plates. They're so stupid simple. It hurts. Now you want to make sure for these front 2 bolts, you got your washer and your bolt. You want to get your washer. Those rubber paddings keep the metal-to-metal contact from doing it. There it is, that easy. Alright, so this is all for the gas tank. This is all the hardware you're going to need. Here's the instructions again you get with it. Again, it doesn't really show you in the instructions where exactly it needs to go to, but again, that's where this video comes in handy. And yes, I'm doing my best old Tony impression, if you're not familiar. So now for the fuel tank skid plate install. So I went over the instructions and checked it all out and made sure that it made sense before I go ahead and talk about it. So what you'll basically be doing is these straps that actually hold the gas tank in, you'll be actually backing these bolts out and sliding the new bracket for the skid plate underneath. So what you'll end up doing is, you see here, I went ahead and backed this one off a little bit, just enough like the instructions said. It said to start at the driver's side front, and you'll want to slide this in between the mount and the bracket like that. And that'll leave that hanging down below like so. Now the tricky part is going to be to tightening that up, I believe. Let's see what it looks like here. So it's just, you want to make sure the bracket is in between the bolt head and the actual strap. That's what the instructions call for, so I'm going to leave it like that. It says do the same step for the passenger side. So you can see up there, I got to pull that one off as well. Alright, so I found out on this side, it says to just back it off and then put that on, but it's a lot easier just to go ahead and take that bolt out if you can. This side, it's looks like it's going to be good. That's how it shows in the diagram, as well as the instructions he sends you in the email. I did notice this side sits a lot lower than this side, so this may have to come in or be adjusted, but if I'm wrong, I'll go back and fix that. I just want to go ahead and get these brackets up there first, and then I can manipulate them once they're all installed. I told you I'd go back and correct myself, so I was right there, or I wasn't right. So there's one short driver side bracket and one long bracket. The short one actually goes to the back. There's actually a step back here I didn't notice. There's no step here, so make sure that the short bracket is in the back and the long bracket's up front. And I'm sure it says that in the instructions, but I probably just glossed over that. But that's why the video's here. After a little bit of persuasion, we got this thing in. So the brackets were incorrect. So they all need to point toward the inside of the car, and they all need to go below the strap. The only problem you're going to run into is these outside straps closest to the drive shaft. You actually have to pry them to push them in to get them to bolt up. But once they get in there, they're good and set up, and they're actually in a really good spot. It just originally didn't look like that. And another thing we had to do is I had to turn this bracket backwards. So the nut is actually on this side, when it really, in theory and good practice, it should be the other way. It's going to work just fine, but it bolted up much better that way. And we actually installed this last because that was causing us a little bit of interference trying to line up the back holes. So after like a little bit of fighting it, we get it all figured out. So if you have any questions on it, let me know on that. I was talking to Christopher Murphy. He said that some people have a really easy time with this and some people have a really hard time with this. It really wasn't that hard once we figured out what was going on. These just needed to be bent in a little bit. And you know, the brackets, it's not that hard to bend in. Just a little bit of pry bar action and you're good to go. Man, that is solid. One other thing I didn't mention is I didn't realize, because I glossed over the instructions like an idiot, that bar has to come out as well. So that's the original bash bar for the gas tank. It just comes out with 4 12mm bolts, and this one up here is one of the original 12mm bolts. Let's see if you can see, it's pretty dark. That right there is one of the original 12mm bolts that has to come out, and you reuse that for the front bracket. And besides that, that is your skid plate system. That is from the gas tank. Super solid. And then you got your oil pan, engine, transmission. Look how good that looks, guys. That is great. There you go. You get a shot of the goods there. Skidplateguy's been hooking me up for a while. He's been a great sponsor of mine and a really good friend. I actually got a chance to go hang out with him in New York at a race back in 2018. And short story is he bought dinner for me and my dad there when we went to go eat with him, and it's a great dude all around. Treated us like family. He's always been a great sponsor. Always been able to get good discounts for my friends and people that are watching my channel. So with this video, there is a little sale going on. It'll be in the description. I'll also making the original post. It'll be on Facebook and Instagram. Go check him out. Give him a like on Facebook, Instagram. Like I said, great guy. One of my best friends. He races a Fiesta too. He's a nut like I am. He just a good dude. But enough talking about that. The Element skid plates are all on. I feel so much better about it now, and you should too if you're on camping, going off-roading, doing whatever you are with it. Because skid plates are invaluable, especially when I drive around my Fiesta with a skid plate too. You just feel so much more safe. You feel like you can just yeet off anything. You're just like, there's something in the road, I'm gonna hit it anyway. Bonk. Just bounces right off. It's a good bit of insurance that you don't have to worry about your oil pan getting a big hole in it. So if you're lowered, if you're up, if you're trail riding, whatever, if you're just daily driving and you want a little bit of peace of mind, get you a skid plate. That's just simple. There's a few plates left for this. He said if there's a big enough demand, he'll order a bunch more. So go ahead and buy them up. Go find them. Give them a shout. Say John sent you. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. On to the next video. I got some more stuff coming out for the Element, so stay tuned. See you guys.